The following segments are comprised of past episodes. Some of the information and dates may no longer be valid.
Hi, welcome to Kitchen Spoons and Combat Boots.
I'm Marcy Caulfield, Jesse Smith, Centennial Fields.
Over the past year, taxes, leadership connections, veterans outreach.
Earn up to $1,000.
Chubby hubby. I know maybe I'm old school and I can't wrap my head around it, likely, but come see us.
Hi, welcome to Kitchen Spoons and Combat Boots. I'm Jesse Smith. With me today is Courtney Weisert, and we will be talking about managing your military career. So, Courtney, what advice do you have for soldiers and airmen about managing their military career?
So one of the things that I think is really important is kind of identifying what areas of your life you really have to control, right, to make sure that your military career is successful. Be flexible when it comes to, making sure that the soldier's civilian life is set. So across the board, communication is key in all three, but definitely on the military side of the house, because I like to say, if we don't know, we can't fix it, right? So if we don't know what the issues are, there's nothing that we can do to help the individual. So definitely communicating with first line supervisors. Every command has an open door policy, meaning that if there is an issue, they can go direct to the commander if they're not getting what they need at the lowest level.
Now, is there anything that you wish you had known earlier in your military career that would have helped you?
Yes. I honestly, when I was young, I joined 17 years ago at 17 years old in high school. And my biggest thing back then, I was nervous. I was scared to talk to my chain of command because I was young. I was an E1, right? So it was kind of hard to say, hey, I need help with something, or I have this issue, just because I was scared. A 17-year-old kid in a unit with a bunch of adults. And also, I didn't know what I didn't know. So I wish I would have asked more questions. I wish I would have asked for more help, because at the end of the day, everyone is really helpful. And I just didn't know that then.
What are some benefits that you think aren't utilized enough?
Great question. So our soldiers are entitled to so many benefits. It can get really overwhelming sometimes because there are so many things that people don't always know where to start. So right off the bat, one of the easiest things, TRICARE, right? Our health benefits are very competitive. A lot of our M-Day soldiers, our part-time soldiers, they opt into our health insurance because it is so cost effective, right? For a single soldier, I want to say it's about $50 a month. And for if you're married with kids and you can have as many kids as you want, it's roughly $250 a month. Mm-hmm. So very affordable. There's no copay, very good health insurance. So I would say that's number one. Two, our dental insurance. I think that's around $12 a month for a single soldier. And I think $30-something a month for a family. Super cheap. You're not going to find that on the civilian side. So that's another benefit. Third, we have so many education benefits that I don't think our soldiers take advantage of. We have state tuition assistance, which is you can go to any in-state school, any public school, and it will cover up to the UVM tuition rate, which is the highest, public school tuition rate that we have in the state. So you can go to any Vermont State College, Vermont State University, which used to be Vermont Tech. You can go to Community College of Vermont, University of Vermont, Linden, Johnson, Castleton, all tuition free. For a service member, we actually have this thing called the Buxton Scholarship to St. Mike's. That is 60 credits every semester that we give away for free, and it's first come, first serve. So it is a full ride to St. Mike's. It's a very easy application process. You don't even have to complete basic training or AIT to apply. So for our soldiers that are, haven't shipped yet, they can still apply and they can start using it up until the point that they do ship. So that's a really good education benefit that we have as well.
So what are some other nuggets of wisdom that you may have since you're embarking on your Sergeant Major Academy journey, so that you think may help people?
So I will say what has truthfully made me successful in my career. I was never the best at anything, right? As a recruiter, I came to the recruiting battalion 12 years ago as an E6. And what has gotten me to this point was one, being kind to other people. So taking care of the people around me was definitely key to my success, because you never know who's going to be your boss one day. You never know where somebody is going to land in their military career. And if you just treat everyone, the same way and respectfully and with kindness, that favor will be returned. So number one, be kind in everything that you do, because you never know where people are going to land. The next thing, again, like I said, I was never the best. I was never the best recruiter in the state, but I cared a whole lot, and I took pride in everything that I did. So do those small things, right? Do the small things really well. And then over time, you can move on to bigger projects. But if you have a good set foundation and you make sure that you're taking care of all the little things, all the big things will fall in place. And then it's almost like a balancing act. So for couples that are not dual military, I think the same thing applies. Communicate about your schedules. What is truly important to each of you, and having that transparent conversation with one another on where are the places that you can flex and where are the places that, no, like I have to go to this school, or this is my drill weekend, so we need to block off this time for me. And then maybe return the favor for your significant other, right? Hey, you blocked off this time for me to go to drill. Let's block off this time for you so you can do something as well. No relationship is ever 50-50, but there is always compromise. And if you can do those small things for one another, I think that can help you bridge the gap. So, the first thing, definitely communication. Two, I kind of touched on it, but the planning aspect, making sure that you have a solid plan. And then I think the third thing is just being understanding, right? There are times where things come up. My husband at times will know a week ahead of time. Oh, yep, he's got to go to a 2-week school. Great. Inconvenient, absolutely. But I never take it out on him, because it's not his fault. It comes along with the job. So we both understand that. We both understand that we're a part of something bigger than ourselves, and we want to support that because we do believe in the jobs that we do. So for a military spouse, it's not just your spouse that, they want to go to AT for 2 weeks. That's not it. They have to go to AT for 2 weeks because it's a requirement. So try not to take it out on them, if they do have to go away, or, give them a little bit of time to decompress when they come home too. My husband knows when I come home after work, I need a little bit of time. I need just maybe 10 minutes where the kids aren't crawling on me.
So is there anything that we haven't mentioned so far that you would like to bring up as a benefit?
Yes. So the last thing I want to talk about today is JEEP, the Joint Enlistment Enhancement Program. So for those of you that don't know, you can earn up to $1,000 for every person that you refer to a recruiter, Air or Army, that ends up enlisting. So they have to enlist, and you get $1,000 check. It comes from the Vermont State Department of Treasury. You'll get it in the mail, but usually you'll see that check about 90 days after the person enlists. So that is a really good program that I think a lot of families don't know about. Soldiers, some of them know about it, but I would definitely want to make sure people can take advantage of that. And you can do up to 20 referrals a year. So that could potentially be, an extra $20,000, which is pretty good.
Yeah. So for people who are listening and watching this podcast, if they wanted to look more into these things that we've talked about today, do you have a good place for them to start?
Yes. So definitely check out vtguard.com. There is an Air and there is an Army section. You can click on either one depending on your affiliation. And there's going to be information about Prime, about promotions. If you want to reach out to a recruiter, they're going to have all of the recruiter contacts on there. So definitely check out that site. The other thing, talk to your S1 at your unit. So your your training or readiness NCO at your unit, and then definitely find out who your recruiter is. Have a conversation with them as well. I am the recruiting supervisor for Chittenden, Washington, Addison, and Grand Isle. So if anybody wants to reach out to me direct with any questions, 802-274-3830. Give me a call, shoot me a text. I'll respond, and I can get you in contact with someone. We also have an Instagram page and a Facebook page, Team Central VTARNG. That's us. Shoot me a direct message on there. I manage all of those platforms as well.
Caulfield, the Family Readiness and Program Manager.
And I'm Jessie Smith, the State Soldier and Family Readiness Group Leader.
And today we're at Centennial Field. So Jess, did you know that Military Appreciation Night at the Lake Monsters is July 18th? Be there or be square.
Do we know who they're playing?
The New Britain Bees.
Should be a great game.
We hope to see you there. The game starts at 6:35.
And the gates open at 5:30.
Hey Jess, if I were to bring my family that night, what can we expect?
Well, we're going to have lots of things available. There's going to be resource tables with lots of stuff to do there and lots of take-home goodies as well. If you get here early enough, you can visit those and then pick out your seats in the stands and wait for all the entertainment that will happen throughout the game. You'll be able to connect with the various services that we have here in Vermont, from Coast Guard, Air Force, the Army. Everyone's going to be here and have recruiting representation.
Oh, it sounds like a blast. I heard that there's an opportunity to hang out with Champ. Can you tell us more about it?
Absolutely. Throughout the game, we're going to have a banner hung up somewhere out by our resource tables. The kids can go up, sign their name on that banner, and then during the 7th inning stretch, they'll have an opportunity to go out all together and present it to Champ.
So, we would love to see you there. Just remember, the gates open at 5:30, the game's at 6:35.
Enough of all this talk. Let's go find Champ.
I think I see him over there. So Champ, we are so excited to have you with us today. We were hoping you wouldn't mind answering some questions for our audience viewer. Shall we get started? These are the big 5 questions that you wanted to know at home about Champ. So, Champ, yes or no? Do you like to swim? Here's a tough one. Do you like hot dogs?
Yeah!
Yummy in his belly. Do you play video games?
Can you hit a home run? Yeah! All right, final question. Do you have a favorite dance move, and what is it?
Go Champ! Go Champ! Go Champ! Go Champ! Well, we hope that all of you listeners can join us on Thursday, July 18th and come and see our friend Champ and the Lake Monsters team on Military Appreciation Night. Back to you, Danny.
Welcome to Kitchen Spoons and Combat Boots. I'm Jessie Smith, the State Soldier and Family Readiness Group Leader. Over the past year, we've covered topics ranging from taxes, military appreciation, leadership connections, and veterans outreach. What better way to wrap up the year than by sitting down with Major General Gregory Knight, the Adjutant General of the Vermont National Guard. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but our Child and Youth Program, they do have a teen council.
Excellent.
Of military kids. The council came up with some questions that they are dying to know. Which Ben & Jerry's flavor is the best?
I don't think they make my favorite anymore.
Oh.
Chubby Hubby. That was the one with the peanut butter chunks and peanut butter filled pretzels. Yeah. And a second would have been Wavy Gravy, but that went to their ice cream graveyard.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that there's a resurgence of those two flavors at some point.
What is your spirit animal?
I have a backstory for that one.
Love it.
So I know people would think it's, well, you're a soldier, so it must be like a wolf or a lion. No, it's an owl.
Okay. What was your favorite rank to be?
Captain. It's a much more personal relationship. You haven't yet gotten pulled up onto staff. Staff work's critically important. It's also excruciating because it's staff work.
What is your favorite dad joke?
Okay. So I will annoy any number of people. I don't know if it's a dad joke. They'll say, hey, I'm gonna run to the bank or I'm gonna run to the store. And I'm like, that's kind of far. Why don't you take your car? My wife says, my God, you're so hard of hearing. What do you think I say? Huh? Yeah, I'm older, not mature. Go ahead.
Why should kids getting ready to graduate high school join the Vermont National Guard?
So, Jesse, that's a good question. I think it's a healthy question to ask. If you are absolutely certain that you want to go active duty, whatever branch, I absolutely applaud that. You have the right mindset because I think our shortcoming as a guard, we don't talk about service first. If you don't have the desire to serve, all the incentives and benefits don't matter. But I also asked the question, would you buy a car without test driving it first? But if you want to know what it's like to be in the military with the same standards, same training, same uniforms, all the things that the active duty does, and yet have a dual career track, well, if you're that engaged in it and you absolutely love going to drill weekend and that's your thing, give us a year and it's a paperwork drill. You find an active duty recruiter.
What advice do you have for soldiers and airmen who are just starting out in their military careers?
I would tell anybody, especially now having some positional authority where I can actually speak. I've been doing this for a few days, as noted. You learn some things. And first thing I would tell somebody is take every opportunity that comes. Because every time you don't, you just close the door on something. Mm-hmm. And you may not get it again. I talk to lieutenants. Well, I don't know if I want that command. The Army doesn't care what command you get. Just get the command. You will learn something no matter where you go. Mm-hmm. But the second part of that is to find somebody who's, you may not even know it, that they're your mentor. And they may ask you, sometimes they tell you, go do X. You're going to do X job. And maybe that's not the job you want. They're probably asking you for a reason. They're not asking to be a pain in your neck. But in my mind, that's if I look back at my career, there were a handful of folks that were those people to me. I guess I would boil it down to he and some others saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And I think if you find that person or people within your organization, NCOs and officers both, they'll push you. Listen to them.
Yeah.
They'll put the opportunities in front of you.
So before I ask you my last question, is there anything else that you'd like to highlight during today's interview?
I would say, Jesse, that we really have to focus on growing the Guard. And the primary way to do that is to tell our story. There's no mystery in service. And I tell anybody out there who's listening, again, come see us. There's no veil of secrecy here. Is it hard? Oh, yeah, at times. It's stressful. It's challenging. You have to work it in your schedule. But the payoff is what you get. Yeah, the benefits are there. That's fine. You get your school paid for. You get a paycheck. You're eligible for health care, dental care, life insurance that's affordable. All fantastic stuff. Mm-hmm. Imagine across the nation. It's kind of a rhetorical question. When you have flooding and hurricanes, who do you call? National Guard. You have a COVID pandemic, who do you call? The National Guard. earthquakes, who do you call? National Guard. You have an insurrection at your nation's capital, who do you call? The National Guard. So I guess all the goodness that comes with this and all the opportunity, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be a part of it. I know maybe I'm old school and I can't wrap my head around it, which is likely. But come see us, because you will actually be a part of something larger than yourself. So that's what I'm telling you. Come see us and become a part of something bigger than yourself. It's important. The world needs that.
I agree 100%. All right, sir, that's all I have for questions for you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Happy to be here. Appreciate the opportunity, Jess. Thank you.
Anytime.
For more information or support, please reach out to the Vermont Military Family Support Center's toll-free number, 888-607-8773. The preceding content does not constitute endorsement by the Department of the U.S. Army, U.S. Air Force, Vermont National Guard, or Vermont Military Family Programs of the organization's products and services contained therein. Further, the Vermont Military Family Programs assumes no responsibility for the consequences of using the products or services provided by the organizations or resources listed. Vermont Military Family Programs makes every effort to present our clients with reputable resources. We cannot guarantee the validity of said resources, and the use of such resources is voluntary.